there at Corrour. The train's away to Fort William and onwards to Mallock. So, still a busy stop because a lot of people have come off the train at the same time as I have, of course. But it's quite easy. There we go. So anyway, I'm going to be walking to Rannoch. We're already at 1300 plus feet above sea level at Corrour, and I'm going to go in and try and get something to eat. I think I might get a bacon roll if they've got anything on offer. But I think the first thing I'm going to do actually is get a cigaretto, and everybody's going in their different directions here today. I'm just going to check a signpost across the way. Bear with me please. Of course, Corrour rail stop was made famous when the train spotting movie. It had nothing to do with trains, of course, but it's the line north. So that sign's got walking distances: Kinloch Leaving 15 miles, Fort William 22 miles, Speed Bridge 16. So I walked from Kinloch Leaving how many years back, and camped out at the Loch Ossian Dam, and then made my way across the back of all this mountains, across the Rannoch Moor, and I came up away over that way, and that's the time my rucksack got ended up in the waters. And Watson is soaking wet in the dark, and I'll show you where I came out shortly. So I'm inside the cafe, but I obviously can't lower my camera because there's people sitting. But this is a delightful cafe we're in, Andy, at Corrour. I'll try and get this without people in the shots. But this is a wonderful stop where I'm going to have a coffee. The kitchen's closed today, no bacon rolls, but I'll get a cake or something, and then we'll set off on our journey. It's lovely. It really is lovely, Andy. Perfect coffee. So that's our sign, Andy. Rannoch Station 11 miles, so you gotta get your socks on. Dalwhinnie 23 miles, I've done that before. Lagan 25. So we're going to head out to the track over to Loch Ossian, have a quick peek, and then we'll stride out to Rannoch. It's a long way. Just about midday, and the train leaves Fort William at 5:30, I think it is. So by the time it comes down to Rannoch, it should be there on time. Can't take any chances. I've got to get that train this evening. Isn't it beautiful? I hope you can hear me above the wind. With that away out there, that's where I come through that gap, and you turn right and you go down to Ben Alder Cottage. I walked it from Dalwhinnie, stopped at Ben Alder, and up over the moors, and I stayed at the youth hostel at Loch Ossian, and that must have been about 19 years ago. 2007, I think it was. So we're going to have a look at the youth hostel. I've stayed there twice. So that's the youth hostel down there, which I stayed in a couple of times. I'll give the stories another time, but at the moment it's just worth looking at the view, isn't it? But as I said before, walking from way at that gap all the way from Dalwhinnie, amazing walk, it really was. Just look at those Scots pine trees. In the December sunset they turn a glorious colour, and well, September to March, any sunset to be honest, but particularly in the winter you really notice them, they're beautiful. And as I say, this is Loch Ossian. So we'll have a wander down to the, I'm not sure if the hostel's open, but can you imagine me finding this, and there's a speck of light, the angels were with me, almost the other side of the ridge there towards those mountains, and as I came over the ridge I spotted a tiny speck of light. I thought, the angels have saved me, and I got a place to stay that night with my soaking rucksack, and all my clothes were drenched as a result of having to get into the water to retrieve my rucksack that I threw across the raging torrent of a streaming spate, and I didn't use enough strength in my body to throw it across the whole way, and hence why I had to dive in to get my rucksack, which weighed a ton afterwards. It weighed like concrete. Let's see if they're open any. I just want to show you a quick peek inside, of the old youth hostel. Crikey, it's a bit of a mess since the last time I was here. But and there's that pulley where my jumpers were on. I nearly took it out the bloody ceiling. So it's 12:30, Annie. We better get a move on. It looks like it's full up anyway. But yeah, there's the bunk beds, all good. Right, Andrew, let's get our rucksack on our shoulders and get moving. Well, we'll have a cigarette first, please, thank you. Of course, the midges up here in this part of the world in high summer make it absolutely unbearable. Holding your camera, there will be absolutely millions and millions of them. Billions of them. It'd be like watching rainfall, or snowflakes, tiny snowflakes. There are millions of them, and it makes it very miserable to be in the Highlands during high summer. Anyway, that's Loch Ossian, and through the gap, once again, a bit quick. Can't see Ben Alder, but if you keep going, take a right, Ben Alder's on the left hand side. It's hidden from view from that mountain. So it's pretty clear from the camera that the tracks here have all been relayed since I first set foot along this part. So it was just a bog, little pathway and track. And that's the same as the one I'm going on to go to Rannoch. There was never any track, it was a footpath which was just a complete bog. A very narrow pathway, great big craters full of water and footsteps and mud. It was just awful. But so we're heading up this way, Andy. Walk the plank. It's been a terrible thing for sailors. Told to walk the plank. They've been naughty at sea. That was a punishment. Walk the plank off the side of the ship. In the middle of the ocean. A terrible death there. mankind was pretty cruel to each other throughout history. There's no such thing as asbos then. But isn't that absolutely terrific? Goodbye to Loch Ossian Youth Hostel. I'm glad we saw you again. I might return, I don't know. Strange how time passes, 19 years. I think it was 2007. Was it, Andy? I think it was 2007 I walked from Dalwhinnie. Well, that makes sense then. Because you booked into, so the time you did Kinloch Leaving one must have been before 2007. Perhaps I came later, maybe it was later, I don't know. I really can't remember. I didn't journal anything at that time. I didn't keep a diary. But, look at that. Bye. There's Corrour. Are we out there, Andy? So the old footpath was much higher and crossed over the top of the very difficult terrain. You probably can't hear me, but that's higher. This new track is it's a delight underfoot. Softer shoes. Yeah, so the new track here definitely comes much further west, because our property would have been in the distance. Fire damage probably. Actually, something that we never wondered about all the time. A great place to run away from everyone. It must have been really rough though. In fact, you could probably the owner lost their mind. Well, this is not meant to happen. After I passed that big old ruined house, the path hit the railway line, and that's not the case. It shouldn't be doing that. So I said to you that the path seems awful far west. I need to get over that way, and hopefully there's a goddamn track. If not, I'll have to abandon and take my train from. I'll have to go back to Corrour and take the train from there. I can't afford to miss the only train coming south. Bit of a nuisance. Well, you should have carried a map, Andy, you fool. No, straightforward, isn't it? I knew myself that we're getting too far away from the slopes up there. We need to find the other path. This is terrible. This is not good news, actually. This is in the midst of Rannoch Moor, eastern edge, and my feet are already wet as a result of bog. This is terrible. I can't. There's not a soul about. Get over that way and down, follow the. It should be much higher, the pathway. I'm going to make a decision once I reach the other side of this lot what I'm going to do. Bad news, eh? But we're in the middle of nowhere. I've no map, no tent, nothing. So I've got to make sure I get back to Corrour as a last resort. But let's go over and see if we can find any evidence of the old track. It's just gone 10 to 2, Andy, and you are lost. You need a landmark, and I'm looking for an old ruined building. This is all gone to pot. Rannoch's that way. Need to find this track, Eddie. Don't tell me it's way up the top. Can it be it? Oh, this is quite serious.